Mike, how are you? Overall, looking back on last week, you've been through many Irish great victories, great performances. Where would you rank that performance against England?
It was up there with one of the best ones I've been involved with for sure. There's a few World Cup ones that stick out in my mind, and obviously over in New Zealand and that. Any of those away games are, sometimes they're a bit extra special to get those big victories because it's an extra challenge, going away from home. And I think there was a bit of pressure on us as a team as well going into last week. But I think everyone to an individual performed, and that's what was most pleasing.
Has the mood completely changed in the camp now following that?
The mood was never a bad mood in the camp. There was a mood that we just, we weren't hitting our potential, and that's something that we were trying to focus on is trying to get the best out of one another. And it was just probably a pleasing feeling that we were able to put in a performance that we were proud of. How we were better again against Italy. I think we were just very disappointed after the French game with how we played. And we had a big focus then that week in improving that performance. We did. And the same again against England. It'll be no different this week. It'll be the same mood, same goals, performing or getting a better performance against Wales, and that's what we'll be chasing.
And finally then, just for yourself as well, did you feel like you had a point to prove after being left out against Italy and that you certainly stepped up to the plate?
No, there's other lads, there's lots of lads getting opportunities, and that's the way it's gonna happen in here sometimes. Sometimes your job's gonna be from the bench, sometimes it's just not even being in the 23, that's your job that week. And you gotta put the best foot forward no matter what the situation is for this team, and that was my focus against Italy, and it was no difference against England.
Thanks, man.
Just Tadhg, has there been any chat about kicking on from the momentum gained from the performance like that?
Yeah, I suppose after any good performance, there's always that chat. You can't just pat yourselves on the back and think it's gonna happen again. You have to focus on what went well, bank it, and then also focus on what to improve on, because there's no point in saying, it was a good performance, we'll just do it again next week. But it doesn't work like that. You have to work incredibly hard to get those performances, and it'll be no different next week. We're going to have to work incredibly hard to put in a good performance, but we don't want to just put in a good performance, we want to get better, and that's the challenge.
Yeah, because I suppose what we saw from Wales directly after that game was the best we've seen from Wales in a very long time.
Yeah, for sure. Like Wales, much like us, we're improving game on game, and they've been improving game on game. I believe. I think a lot of the score lines against the teams they've played against have probably not painted them in the best picture in terms of how well they played in parts of those games. And they're just chasing down a better 80-minute performance, and they were very close to getting the win against Scotland, obviously, and I think that performance is going to give them a lot of confidence coming in against us. But as I said, the focus for us, we'll have a little bit of a focus on Wales, but as I said, our focus is on us getting better each game, and we'll be ready for their improving performances as well.
Luke, Susanna, and then Neil.
Hey Tadhg. There's obviously been a lot of change in the Irish squad over the last year, 18 months, retirements, injuries at this occasions. Maybe away from the pitch, have you seen other people flourish and become leaders off the pitch, and if so, who's really stepped up?
Yeah, I suppose we've lost a lot of leaders over the years through retirement and all that kind of stuff for sure, and I suppose the lads who are the young lads are probably getting a bit older now as well, so it's a strange thing when you start to think about it. But yeah, a good few of the younger lads are for sure stepping up, and I think the environment that the FAS creates is one which everyone speaks up in meetings and that kind of stuff. So, within this group, there's plenty of leaders. It'd be hard to pick out any one, but I think the main thing is that any of the younger lads coming in, that they feel comfortable enough to speak their mind and give their opinions, because everyone's opinion is valued in this group.
and the night before the win at Twickenham, there was obviously that huge win for the 20s. What was it like watching on there, and I suppose did it add even more hunger to the task at hand, or what did you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think Faz set them out there. They set the tone. They set the, they gave a bit of an inspiration to us for sure with their performance. Incredibly proud, of any Irish team and any sport doing well, and to watch them turn one over on England the way they did was a proud day as well.
Thanks. Susanna?
Hi, Tadhg.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk after the game that there was kind of no negativity in camp, and you guys always believed you had that performance in you. But what actually clicked on the day that it came out?
It's hard to put your finger on anything. I think it was just, we were training really well. I think sometimes there's just a feeling on the day, like everyone was up for it. Everyone, and not that I'm saying that everyone isn't up for any game, but from minute one, you could kind of just feel it on the field that everyone was ready for that game, and we'll probably just put it back to the fact that we were training really well, and we knew that performance was coming at some point. We just had to keep chasing it down, and as I said, it's the standard now that we have to abide by, and we can't just rest on our laurels with it. We have to keep chasing it.
Did it feel at all like a weaker English side than you might have come across before?
No, definitely not.
Just lastly for me then, obviously I know your focus is on Ireland at the moment, but the news today out of Munster that Mike Prendergast will be leaving at the end of the season. How did you react to that news, I suppose?
Yeah, look, I was disappointed to hear, for sure. Not just to lose Mike as a coach, but also, the person he is. He's brilliant around the squad, and everyone gets on unbelievably well with him. But at the same time, there's an opportunity for him elsewhere, and he's going to do what's best for his family, and I completely understand that. He's done so much for us as a club since he's come in, fresh ideas, and we've also won a league under his attack. So he's been brilliant for us, and we'll be sad to see him go, but completely understand this decision too.
Thanks.
Neil, Cian, then Brendan.
Thanks, Mike. Just on your own personal performance on Saturday, you had a huge number of tackles and you picked off a few turnovers. I can't remember how many, but there were a few in there. In possession, like you carried the ball twice and you passed the ball, I think it was 9 times according to the stats. Was there a part of you who was kind of, when Ireland have the ball, conserving your energy a little bit to be able to go after the stuff that you're very, very good at in defence?
No.
Did it just happen like that?
It just happens like that, yeah. There's some games, but particularly when you're playing six, where the ball may not come your way at all, either in defence or in attack. And then there's others where it just comes your way, and it was just one of those games where I was able to get into the game a bit more in terms of my involvements, and I enjoyed my time out there.
Okay.
The two in particular, the one on the line in the corner just before half time, and then the choke tackle in the second half. Like, what do moments like that do for, not just for you, but for the lads around you in terms of the energy and belief, and especially the place like Twickenham?
Yeah, look, they're huge moments. It's like scoring little mini tries, isn't it? I know the feeling is, especially when you're in a long defence, and Caelan or Josh or one of the boys came up with a turnover that just the buzz you get from it, you're working unbelievably hard for each other, and then getting a turnover, like it's an incredible feeling for sure.
We always seem to chat to you in Wales Week, not the whole thing again.
What did you think?
But like, there's just never a dull moment there. Like, unfortunately, like, it's very sad what's going on in Wales at the moment. I'm just wondering, like, are you still friends with any of the lads who you would have played with, who were obviously going through a really crappy time at the moment?
It's been so long since I've been there. Like, I can look at Scarlets now, and there's probably 2-3 players that are still there that were there when I was there. So, big change in the guard. I haven't really spoken to any of them about it. It's a tough time. I do remember when I was there was whispers of the same thing happening when I was there, and it's the same thing now, but it just seems a little bit more serious at this point. So yeah, look, I feel incredibly sad for all those individuals who are, who've families and everything at home, and it's going to create a lot of pressure for those guys. But when you're in these camps and stuff, you can use it, and also you try to put it to the back of your mind at the same time, because you have an opportunity to put on the jersey and represent your country. And I think that's what those guys will be doing. They'll be just focusing on the rugby and trying to put their best performances out there, and they'll have to focus on the other stuff later.
Just one more on that, you must put things in perspective for yourself in terms of your own journey. You look at the sliding doors moment in terms of coming back when you did, and how well everything has worked out for you. You must be relieved and proud as well.
Yeah, it's a big decision at the time, and everything was obviously going very well for me at the Scarlets at the time to come back. Maybe it was a little bit of a risk, but obviously it's worked out in my favour, and I'm very relieved I made that decision, and very, very pleased with it.
Last couple of questions, Brendan and then Derek.
Tadhg, how are you? Just on the Munster thing with Mike leaving, you've had a lot of turnover in the coaching staff, and how much of a concern is it that, again, this off-season will be somebody else coming in?
Yeah, look, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in terms of someone else coming in. It'd be interesting to see what happens, because our attack might change again, and look, sometimes that can do the world of good as well. So a bit of turnover, but you can't fault these people making these decisions. They're making them for their, just for themselves and for their families, and no bad bone to say and bad things about Mike. I wish him the very best, and we still have a long season ahead of us, and he's still with us until the end of the season, and he's going to give 100% of himself to the club, because he loves Munster. So our focus is just going to be on the remainder of the season, and then we'll attack next year with whatever happens.
Just one on you. I made it. You played 33 games last season with Munster and Ireland with the Lions, and World Rugby brought in a thing now, a ceiling of 30 games. I think the RFU officially or unofficially used to be 25. And there's been a lot of talk about Lions hangovers, which is dissipated now since Saturday. But where are you at physically and mentally now at this stage of the season?
Yeah, I'm great. I want to play. Obviously towards the end of the season, when you do get your break, you'll probably feel it after the second week off. You feel like a new man. By the time you're just as much feeling normal, feels like. But when you're in it, you just want to play every week. You want to be out there. And then when you do get a week off and you're watching from home, you're kind of like, oh, wish I was out there now. And I'm 34 now, so I don't know how much longer I have. So any opportunity I do get to go out and play, I want to be out there playing. So here's another 33 or 35 games this season, if they let me.
Cheers.
Last question, Derek.
Can I just freeze you into a moment in time? The Joe Smith regime, and maybe the Andy Farrell regime to a certain extent, you get a tap penalty near the line, and there's plans made for things that are planned. So you're standing there, basically having grabbed the ball, and your shoulders are just sort of relaxed. What happens next? I mean, you're a captain, and you're captain of the club level, and you understand. Is Jemison swearing at you, or is he jumping around, or does he have a cold word, or have you seen it, or how is that just
I think there's just a little bit of feel, I guess, about it, and understanding about it. I know what Jamo's like. I know Craig is the same. They're always kind of looking for those opportunities, and I don't even know if Jamo said that to me. I think we just kind of locked eyes, and it was just an instinct thing. So
that's interesting you used to say that, because that's actually a trademark of Craig, even more than it's a trademark of Jemison, isn't it?
Yeah. I know the two of them will always kind of look for those opportunities to go quickly, and if you're with the ball in hand, and I think we both kind of sensed it, so went straight to him, and he took the opportunity.
And I know the fans get a particular fillip out of a try from nothing. Like if you barge over from a flat area, you maul over the line, that's area. But when you get something for nothing, you get your jam for free. Is there a feeling that does that translate into the professional game with the players, that's a better, better is a bad word, but that's a fill-up try.
I don't know. You just kind of pat the individual on the back, I guess. With the other stuff, it can be more of when a tap penalty come off that you've worked on at training, it's pretty satisfactory as well, because you've been working on it throughout training and then it works in a game. So it's a pretty good buzz as well. So it's hard to say which is better. As long as you're getting the 5 points on the board, you're pretty happy.